Now, this gentlewoman from Oregon, Ms. Dexter, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you again for this hearing today. I am heartened to hear the consensus that we need to use data, technology, and common sense to design a clear administrative process that works better for permitting. That is not, however, what this administration is trying to do, and I just want to be clear. Public engagement is being gutted to give handouts to oil, gas, and mining companies, and it's just offensive and irresponsible. Mr. Mergen, on President Trump's first day in office, he declared an energy emergency. I'm not sure what emergency we're in, but we'll leave that for another day as the #1 producer of oil and gas in the world. In response to this so-called emergency, the Department of Interior issued what they are calling alternative arrangements for NEPA compliance. The Bureau of Land Management approved a uranium mine in just 11 days. Mr. Mergen, do you believe there was any legitimate consideration of public concerns, tribal consultation, or consideration of alternatives in that 11-day process?
No, I do not.
And thank you for that. And can you tell me about the precedent for this? Under what circumstances have alternative arrangements been used in the past, and why is this one different?
Yeah, there is the CEQ, which has at various times done a good job of collecting information and at other times a very poor job, has kept information about the way alternative arrangements have been deployed historically. And by and large, those arrangements have been deployed in response to natural disasters. They have been deployed in response to, catastrophes like fires and the like. And here we're seeing it leveraged for an energy emergency, and yet there doesn't seem to be much evidence of that emergency. And so it's a radical departure. And I think, to those folks who may agree with these streamlining efforts, I would say it creates enormous litigation risk. The Supreme Court has told us again and again, told the Biden administration again and again, when you do things that are out of the norm, sort of extraordinary, you are going to lose in court. And that is exactly what this administration has done.
Thank you for that. And I just want to, I'm not sure how much time I have, Mr. Chair.
I'm not either. We're trying to figure the clock situation out.
So
I'm showing 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here.
I'll assume we've got at least that much. An effective permitting process clearly is essential for clean energy, lowering emissions, reducing energy costs, and at the same time, development must be paired with early, meaningful engagement from local communities and tribal nations. Mr. Merkin, how do we strike the right balance between moving essential development forward, we've been talking about this somewhat already today, while still being able to consult with the public and make sure that they have a meaningful voice, but not a burdensome voice in the process?
Yeah, thank you for the question, because I totally agree that there are times at which public engagement is played out and burdens the permitting process. And I think that the lessons we can draw from those examples relate to how early the engagement occurred, how much work was done at the front end. And I do agree with Mr. Huffman, who indicated that this understanding the community is a part of the due diligence that any project developer undergoes, and figuring out how to communicate with that community the benefits of your project, the burdens of that project, is really important. FERC has recently adopted a process to engage earlier, right? And that process has shown a lot of potential. And so, and you started off your comments by noting the need for information. And I go back to that again too, because we see the administration stripping down information. If we can direct the public to information about the effects of an action that have already been collected, we can make their engagement effective, or maybe even mitigate the need for that kind of comment altogether.
No, I very much appreciate that.
Will the gentlelady suspend?
I just
when
magically
the
got more
clock was
time.
reset, you had a minute 20, so when it gets down to 3, your time will be expired. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
I appreciate that. So I just want to double down on that, because I think data-informed decision-making has to be where we are headed for transparency and accountability. And so I'm hearing that across the board. I also think that equitable application of those processes, like with the IPAC and other formulations. We cannot and must not put the thumb on the scale for oil and gas while handicapping others. I would just offer the last question to you, because I think I magically did get extra time, but what strategies do you think would be most efficient and effective for getting public engagement? Is it using technologies ahead of time? I would love your insights in that, Mr. Morgan.
Yeah, for sure, technology makes a huge difference. We've talked about IPAC several times today, and if you look at that, it's so common sense. It's an ESA tool, and it leverages technology in a way that absolutely streamlines decision-making for project proponents, but also tells the public about the environment that's going to be impacted. And I think technology is the way forward.
Very good. The last thing I want to just add is it would be helpful, I believe, to note when Clean Water Act or Clean Air Act or other things are the burden and not NEPA, because I think NEPA is being unfortunately mischaracterized as being the handicap in many of these processes. With that, I yield back. Thank you, Mr. Chair.